All right, welcome everybody. We're doing a mock draft lottery. Potentially, tomorrow is the draft lottery, and we're gonna find out the position of all the teams. It's obviously a time that's fraught. I actually started working at this literally 24 hours to the second. I started working on it, so it's kind of serendipitous that we're doing this. So we're going to simulate the lottery, and then we're going to input it into a simulator so that we can go step by step to do this. I will be streaming after this, so catch me on YouTube for video game streams, as well as sports and occasional political commentary. Again, you want to not get too much into politics. You know how politics drives people nuts, but I love driving people nuts. All right, so let's simulate this and see where we're gonna input the order. OKC, all right. Well, that would absolutely drive everybody crazy. So let's put the Thunder first. Let us put the Rockets second. Where are you, Rockets? Let us put the Spurs third. Ooh, they jumped. I've done a few of these mocks, and the Spurs are always jumping into the top few picks. I don't know why. Spurs. Fourth is Indiana jumped one. Okay. I'm sure they would be happy about that. So let's do that. Number 5, 6, 5 and 6, Orlando, Detroit. Oh, they would be sick to their stomach. But you know what? Stop tanking. Sorry, I forgot. Orlando and Detroit. I mean, I think there needs to be a bigger penalty here. It's the same teams over and over and over again. I think they did the rule once that you couldn't get back. You couldn't get the number one pick back-to-back drafts. Maybe they need to do something where you can't be in the lottery 3 years or 4 years in a row or something like that. I don't even know. All right, 7 Detroit. 7 Portland, 8 Sacramento. This would be Sacramento, right? 7 Portland, 8 Sacramento. 9 would be New Orleans. And that's is another win for the Pelicans after that Anthony Davis trade. I mean, the Lakers got a championship out of it. So 10 Wizards, 11 Knicks, 12 OKC again, 13 Hornets, 14 Cleveland. I just want to make sure one more time. Thunder 1, Houston, San Antonio, Pacers 4, Magic 5. Pacers 4, Magic 5. Pistons 6, Portland 7. Pistons 6, Portland 7. Sacramento 8, New Orleans 9. Wizards 10, Knicks 11. Oh, this would actually make me sick to my stomach. Nah, I wouldn't. I think there's a lot of good options. 12, Thunder, 13 Hornets, and 14 the Cavaliers. You know, it's actually looking like a lot similar to the NFL, where you see like this draft. We had the Giants had 2 picks in the first round. We had the Jets with 2 picks in the first round. So teams that feel like they're close to the championship are going to go all in. All right, so we've customized it. We're going to save it. And we are going to start the draft. All right, so on the clock, OKC is first. Testing. What is this recording? Hello? Okay. I was like, what is that audio? Let's actually lower this because this is popping. All right, so this is not even a consideration. We're going to actually look at their team. I don't want to jump into it. They have a lot of guard depth. They have a lot of picks. I don't think they need a guard at this point. I don't know if Pukashevsky and Chet would work per se together. They would have to probably be on different. One would be bench and one would be starting. But knowing the way this team is, long project, this is an automatic for me. Chet Holmgren if they get the first pick. Easy money. There's not much consideration. They're just always going to go against the grain. They don't care. They're not in a New York, LA market where they're going to get criticized or worry about those criticisms. They're going to do what they want to do. So that was easy. This right here is the Rockets, and we look at the depth chart that they have. John Wall is not a consideration. Dennis Schroeder, I do believe, is a free agent. They have, wow, look at the amount of Jalen Green is just an automatic start. Jayshawn Tate, Kevin Porter Jr., Christian Wood is good there. They can go a lot of different ways here, and I'm thinking if I'm the Rockets, I need an infusion of talent, but I don't. This is tough. I'm not. Christian Wood is probably going to be on the way out. Sengun is not a consideration. They'll take the best fit here. I think they got to go with the best talent, and that's currently, and that's Paolo Banchero. They just need an infusion of talent. So I think it's like a tie between actually all three of these: Jabari Smith, Paolo Banchero, and Jaden Ivey. All can be chosen. So we're gonna go with what my opinion is this guy has the lowest floor of any of these three. Maybe the lowest ceiling, but the lowest floor for sure. So we're gonna put him right on the Rockets. Next, we have the Spurs, and they would jump for joy if they got this pick. And they actually have a lot of lottery magic. They had David Robinson injured for 1 year and in 97, and they were projected maybe 11th or 12th that year, and they jumped to number 1 and took Tim Duncan, and the rest is history. So here with the Spurs, let's take a look at their DeJounte Murray. I feel like he can be got. For whatever reason, they don't care for him. I feel like I've heard his name too many times in trade rumors. So I think he could be moved. Josh Richardson is not a concern. Lonnie Walker may not come back. Vassell, Keldon Johnson are both guys that I'm not worrying about that. No power forwards. I think for me, this is the situation where they're taking Jabari Smith here. I think he's prototypical for what they do. Maybe LaMarcus Aldridge, Tim Duncan, a big that can face, can shoot, can play defense on the perimeter. This is a pop guy. He's going to follow the rules. So I'm thinking Jabari Smith here from the Spurs. The next, the Indiana Pacers have Malcolm Brogdon, who's on the way out. Buddy Hield, who they would do anything to get rid of him. They do have Tyrese Halliburton. How the Kings traded him, I will never understand. I will never understand. This is why that franchise will never win. They're so moronic. Let's just put it that way. But they do have a lot of work that they have to do. Chris Duarte and Tyrese Halliburton could be potentially a backcourt of the future. We don't know. Small forward is weak. Power forward is weak. Center, Miles Turner might be on the way out. So you can actually put anything there. I think they got to take the best player available, and that's Jaden Ivey, and figure it out later. I mean, I just don't see what else you can do. Maybe you could put Jaden Ivey, Halliburton, and Chris Duarte in a 1-2-3 type of combination. They got to take the best player. So that's Jaden Ivey. I don't see them. If OKC was in this position, or somebody else that was like not going to bend to pressure, they may take somebody else other than Ivy. But the Pacers, no, they're going to take Ivy and figure it out later. So we're going to take Ivy right here. Explosive guy. Explosive. Reminds a lot of people of Russell Westbrook, etc., etc. So the next team is the Magic. Oh, the Magic have a lot of issues. They don't seem to have a direction regarding their franchise. They're all over the place. They have failed on so many occasions with draft picks that you kind of feel bad for them. They need an upswing here. They need a home run here. This is actually worst case scenario for them. But again, it's a losing franchise. I honestly don't think they should be rewarded for their inept ability to draft. It seems like they got the point guard down packed. And again, any position that is available, the top player, you got to take the best player here and worry about position later. Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, they're not going to be there for long. They do have good with Franz Wagner. I think he's good. Terrence Ross is on the way out. Jonathan Isaac, injury prone. So I think here in this position, if I'm in their camp, I'm going with Shaden Sharp. I mean, I think you got to stay with the guy that has the most upside here. We don't know what he's going to be. He did not play. He is a scintillating talent, and has all the raw skills to be an all-star. We don't know what his drive is. But I'm gonna say Sharp is the play here with the Magic. Again, they have so many holes. They could actually also go Keegan Murray here for size, but let's go with Sharp. Nothing crazy has happened so far in terms of my draft, the way it's played out. We'll see how it goes. Again, the only wild card for me is the Thunder, and that's if they're in the 4th position or 5th position. You don't know what the hell the Thunder are going to do, but if they're in 1st position, they're definitely taking Chet. I mean, you could book it. You can mark this little video right here, and you can book it. Cade Cunningham is a cornerstone for the franchise, but everything else is pretty much in the air. They got a good pickup with Marvin Bagley, who got out of that toxic dump site that is the Kings. Jeremy Grant is trade fodder. I wouldn't be surprised if they moved him during the draft. Who knows? Sadiq Bey is a stud. So I think you build around Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey here, and you give them a little bit more help on the wings. You can never have too many wings. But I think here with the Pistons, for me, I just need some scoring. I need someone to go against Cade. So I'm drafting. I'm a little surprised here. I'm going with Benedict Mathurin, who can light it up. This kid, I want him to go to the Knicks, but this kid is an absolute stud offensive player. This guy's going to light it up in the league. I don't know. He definitely has the tools defensively. Can he be used correctly? And can he fall to the franchise that's going to help him figure out his defensive mojo? Because he has all the tools, but this kid is definitely going to jump draft boards here. The next pick we have are the Blazers, and they're actually not doing bad. They're doing a quick rebuild. They can absorb a salary of a player that they like, if I'm not mistaken. I do believe that they do have a salary cap ability, I think, to take $20 million. I may be wrong. I'll double check that later and maybe amend it when I edit the video. But they're doing a really good rebuild really fast. I love their backcourt, even though it's the same backcourt with CJ McCollum, just a younger version in terms of Anthony Simons. Josh Hart is just passing through. Justin Winslow. They need help up front. For me, it's either going to come down to Duren or Keegan Murray. Again, these kind of mock drafts are tough because we're not in their room. We don't know who they're going to resign as free agency. I would prefer that they did free agency first and then the draft afterwards, maybe the draft in August, because then, before the summer league starts, so that we can have a better idea, but we don't know. So for me, it's either Keegan Murray or Jalen Duren, and I am going Duren here. He is a springboard. He can jump out the gym. He's a good role guy. Nurkic might become a little bit too expensive, or they just may not want him, and I think this guy's perfect defensively. Let Damian Lillard, let Anthony Simon do the scoring, and this kid, let him do some runs to the rim. Let him do all that stuff. So I think Jalen Duren is the play here. I've been seeing it a lot with other drafts as well. Here we have the worst franchise in sports. This team is absolutely moronic. They need to burn this franchise to the ground. Sorry, Kings fan. I mean, I've suffered as a Knicks fan, and I would be a Knicks fan for 10,000 years over 1 year with Sacramento. That Halliburton trade was just the worst thing. And for Sabonis, who is an all-star, but he's just not an elite defender. He doesn't do anything well. He's probably like, if on a championship team, he's the 4th or 5th best player. Halliburton you need point guards to run teams. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the whole diatribe with them. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. They're always wrong. So if I'm looking at here, they have 2 point guards. They might take a 3rd point guard. Who the hell knows? They need shooting guards. They need a small forward. They don't need a power forward, and they could probably use a center. So in this position, because this franchise doesn't know what the hell they're doing, I am going to say that they were going to pick another guard that they can kind of slide along. I'm going to pick Johnny Davis here. It just feels like a Kings pick. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about the Kings more than that. Here are the Pelicans. Wow, what a run they had in the playoffs. The 8th seed. They did a tremendous job this year. The coaching staff, Willie Green, pushed Phoenix to the limit. Actually exposed Phoenix and probably helped Dallas win that series because they were exhausted. They are gonna get Zion. He sounded like he's ready to sign on. I would put a weight clause in his contract because he's a great player, but you already see his career being cut short because of weight issues. We've seen Oliver Miller. We've seen other players like that. He needs to have a weight clause in his contract. Give him the max to say for every pound that you're overweight, we're taking $1 million away. Like, it'll motivate him. It'll motivate him. So if that's the case, they got this. Herbert Jones is a stud, an absolute stud. Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, they seem to have the front court pretty good. Valanciunas is going to be there for maybe 2-3 more years. McCollum they could use a backup to McCollum. Snell, no. They definitely need a point guard. Their point guard is absolutely not there. For me and them, I feel like Ty Washington would be good here, but it would be a little bit of a reach. They might consider trading down for that. I think they're going Dyson Daniels here, and I just saw a video with him today. I would love him to go to the Knicks. He's a defensive player first. He's a team first guy. He makes the right pass. He defends. Jose Alvarado defends as well. He doesn't need the ball in his hands. He can cut. He can move. I think Dyson Daniels is the play here for the Pelicans. The Wizards, they are the kings of the East. Another awful franchise. I don't know what they're going to do. I usually go, if I'm going to do it, same thing with the Kings. We don't know what the hell they're going to do. Kristaps Porzingis and Bradley Beal, that's not a championship team. They have nothing to speak of point guard here. Their shooting guard is there. Advia has been a disappointment. Corey Kispert, it will probably be traded to a championship team later. Kristaps is always injured. No center to speak of. I am going to see, I think if I'm them, I'm taking the best prospect available here. Is it front court or back court? I think you got to give them a front court player. I'm taking Keegan Murray here. I think he might be able to slide in there, do some rim runs, and do some good things with the rest of it. Again, this is just such a crappy franchise, so Godspeed to you, Keegan. Here are my Knicks. I'm not exactly sure what their thinking is. And again, we don't know what they're going to do with Julius Randle, right? We don't know if they're going to dump the veterans in terms of Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, Noel. Kemba's definitely gone. But we don't know how much power Tibbs has left. I do believe this is his last year if it doesn't get moved in the right direction. But this team... I'm going on the determination that Julius is on his way out. They drafted OB. Julius had an awful year last year, and not in terms of productivity. I think his shooting was pretty bad, but 29 and 5. There's not many players that were doing that, or 10. So I don't think he had a bad year in terms of the numbers. The shooting percentages were awful. His plus minus was awful. His relationship with the fans was awful. His wife posting about "I miss LA." It seems like all the writing on the wall is for him to leave. So we're assuming that Julius is not going to be there. His Tibbs does have input because he did draft Quentin Grimes, a defensive two-way player. He drafted Emmanuel Quickley, who can play two ways. Miles McBride can play two-way. Cam Reddish, if motivated and is not like forgetting stuff, can play two ways. Obi has gotten a lot better. Mitch may be out the door, so I'm thinking potentially big. But I think if it was up to me, I would take Sokan. But I don't think they're going to let AJ Griffin, who's dropped quite a bit, drop anymore. And I think AJ is going to drop because AJ's shooting stance is a little bit too wide. He's going to need a shooting doctor. So I think he's the play. I think you got to take the best player. He has slid enough. And the Knicks are going to take AJ Griffin. Next, we have OKC again. Previously, they took Chet Holmgren with the first pick, which would be great for them. They're in a talent acquisition mode. They do have a lot of offensive-minded, like SGA can put the ball in the hoop. Trey Mann can. Chet Holmgren, I think, is going to be able to score. I would like to see a little bit more scoring here. So I'm taking a wild card here. I think they're going to go for best upside. That's Jaden Hardy, who is a very crafty guard, can shoot with either hand. He has trouble, I think, going left, if I'm not mistaken, from one of the videos that I saw. But I think he has the most upside here offensively. And I think he's right in line with it. I know he's the same size as Trey Mann, and OKC doesn't care. They're all about acquiring talent. So I'm going Jaden Harden here for OKC on that second pick. Okay, Charlotte. They're going to get a new coach, and it's looking like it's Mike D'Antoni. They want somebody to pair with LaMelo Ball. I think Mike D'Antoni is the right guy. They do not have size. They could use Book Knight, really fell out, but I think with D'Antoni, he will be back. And we'll be shocked at how well he plays. Kelly Oubre is passing through. Gordon Hayward is persona non grata. He's been injured too much. Miles Bridges is about to sign a big contract. So if I'm thinking they're going to get somebody here, I think they're going to take, I was going to say Mark Williams, but they have a second pick at number 15 that he may fall to. It depends on how the draft turns out, but I think you got to take the best player here. And I really like Tari Eason here. He's a lob threat for Melo. He reminds me of a Sean Kemp with defense. He just has tremendous upside. I think the pairing with LaMelo is going to be tremendous. So I'll put Tari Eason here. Next, we have the Cavaliers, who had an unbelievable run this year. They ran out of steam towards the end because of injuries to Jared Allen and a few other players. They have Caris LeVert for a while. Their backcourt is set. Colin Sexton may stay, but not at the contract that he's trying to talk at. He's saying max. That's not going to happen. Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, the close runner-up to Rookie of the Year, Jared Allen. So all 5 of their positions are locked up. I'm getting a bench player here, someone that can help out. And it all depends on what happens with Colin Sexton. I think if they're ready to move on with Colin Sexton, I do think they take Ty here. I think he's a great fit. But if they decide to re-sign Colin Sexton, then I really don't know. I guess maybe a backup point guard. No, I think Ty's the play here. I'm taking Ty Washington here. I think he's a good fit behind Garland. I think he'll work well with everybody. I think it's him. So we only did the lottery because I'm not going to be here talking for 3.5 hours doing the whole first round, the whole second round. But again, if it falls in this position, you can book this. This is probably what's going to happen. The Spurs at 3, Jabari Smith just fits perfectly with that franchise. Rockets, again, talent acquisition. They need the best player, doesn't matter. Chet is their kind of off-the-wall kind of weird pick. Chet is not going to be the first pick for every team, I promise you. There are teams that will pass on him, but OKC would not. Jaden Ivey in most mocks is going to the Pacers. What a stud that would be. Him and Halliburton running at full speed. Oh, that would be tremendous. Shaedon Sharpe, another project down in Orlando. Benedict Mathurin would be great for Detroit alongside Cade Cunningham. Jalen Duren, again, they have the scoring already. They need defense. They need a lob threat. Those pick and rolls to the rim, those rim runs with Jalen Duren would be tremendous. Johnny Davis, again, I'm thinking like the Sacramento Kings. They're a bunch of weirdos. They would pick another guard even though they already have 2 point guards. They're going to throw him right in there. Dyson Daniels, his defense, his off-the-ball stuff, his playmaking ability, his cutting, his slashing. He fits right in with that team, that grit, that tough defensive-minded thing that they're going to need. And he doesn't have any pressure on him. He can go right in and fit right in. Keegan Murray, I think, is a good pickup for the Wizards that late. Some mocks have him going 5 or 4. I think he could potentially drop in this situation. And that would be a boon for the Wizards. AJ Griffin dropped quite a bit to the Knicks. Again, I'm doing it by position. If I would have done this draft with other teams, it would have been different. AJ Griffin could go as high as 5, but I think he has the potential to drop. If you look at his shooting stance, it's not desirable in the NBA. It's too wide. But I think he would fit alongside RJ Barrett if Julius leaves. Jaden Hardy will jump. This kid can score. This kid has a beautiful pull-up mid-range game. He can't go left, if I'm not mistaken. And he doesn't finish at the rim well, but with OKC, he can take time to develop. Tari Eason, is a rim runner. Think Sean Kemp, think defense. This kid is a stud. He can fly. I would consider him with the Knicks if nobody fell, uh, as a potential replacement for Julius Randle. Ty, I think, is potentially going to be one of the top 5 players in this draft. I just think that everybody else has so much of a higher ceiling in their minds, but Ty is a player that could potentially play in the NBA for 15 years. So we're gonna see the draft tomorrow. I may live stream it. I may do it. Depends on if I go to a bar or not. It might be too loud for me audio wise, but we'll see. I'll definitely do once the order is set. I am going to do another one of these. But again, so this is exciting. I'm excited for tomorrow. I hope your team does well, as long as it's not against the Knicks. And we'll see what happens tomorrow, baby. Go Knicks. I'll catch you guys on the next one.